What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today I'm joined once again by Mobile Gamer.
What's up, guys? We're gonna talk about Squirrel Girl. I'm pretty excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited. So I gotta ask, what do you think about Squirrel Girl? Because I know it's like a love-hate relationship with people with Squirrel Girl.
As far as like the character Squirrel Girl, I honestly don't get it. I mean, I've read the lore and how she's defeated everywhere from anybody from like Thanos to Wolverine to Deadpool, and I
Yeah,
legit don't get it. I think it's like an inside joke.
it
That I
has
just
to be an inside joke.
I just don't understand what it is about. Now, if we're talking about her kit, yes, there's some things I really like about it.
Yeah, her kit looks pretty good. I think like the one picture I saw was just like she's defeated like the mightiest villains. Is her just like standing on a pile of like all these defeated villains. And yeah, it just feels like some kind of like big joke from the publisher. It's just like, this girl who's dressed like a squirrel just basically she is a squirrel. Has basically defeated like all these super strong characters.
Yeah, I legit don't get it at all. And so I'm gonna roll with it. And I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't understand. Doesn't mean that they're not a thing. And that's that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. So one thing we're going to talk about today is this change with Squirrel Girl and how we're getting this new Young Avengers faction, and talking about what's going to happen to the Hero Brawlers, because you don't really like the Hero Brawlers. I know a lot of people have kind of built them up over time, but yeah, I mean, your Hero Brawlers have always kind of felt like this. You just basically take your scraps from other teams, throw them in, and call it good. And now that we've got this Young Avengers team where we're losing Ms. Marvel, America Chavez, and Spider-Man Miles to Young Avengers, that's pretty much like, well, are Hero Brawlers done? Like, what's going on here?
Okay, so right now in the game, let's say your focus is on war, and if it is, you basically have 8 defensive team, and you probably have usable 10 offensive teams. I put together 12 because technically you can do 12 attacks. And if I think about the 2 or 3 teams that are kind of catch-alls, really in flux, not doing very well right now, I would say that would be Hero Brawlers, Avengers, and Symbiotes / Spiderverse. And I think Squirrel Girl is going to consolidate 2 of those mediocre to bad teams into one very good team. And that's going to be useful in Blitz and in War for sure. That's the way I see it right now. It looks like I'm excited about this, and I think she could be used, with the 4 Young Avengers, of course. And there's probably, you could throw in Captain Marvel in there, because where do you put Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah.
Typically, Captain Marvel goes with Hero Brawlers. Well, if you're going to be putting Ms. Marvel in there, there's all kinds of things, right? Or maybe Spider-Verse. The drain mechanic on her probably works well with Spider-Verse. And the big problem with Spider-Verse is they don't have a way of getting rid of heal block. Well, Squirrel Girl provides that. So there's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, the one thing we were talking about in the Envoy chat, or at least the question I was asking was, so what's going to happen with some of these characters? Like America Chavez, her shooting star, I believe? Yeah, so this game's bonus damage per Hero Brawler. Is this game moved over to Young Avengers? And then is there going to be like double dipping with, Ms. Marvel, and like, now, is she only going to do this assist now with Young Avengers, or is it still going to include Hero Brawlers? Because that's like a big nerf if they take away the Hero Brawlers synergy there.
So I made a video about it, and I assumed one thing, and then I went into chat and I saw that you guys were assuming that this was stripping the Hero Brawler functionality from Chavez and Ms. Marvel. And the way I interpreted this is this was adding functionality. They were just adding a tag and adding the functionality of the tag. And then we started, and then the question came up, well, do you double dip if a character is both a Hero Brawler and a Young Avenger? And I just assumed it was going to be an or situation, not an and situation. And the other thing too is, regardless of the developer's intentions and regardless of what the kit says, the real question is, how is it going to work in game, which is often different than the way the kit reads anyways. Yeah. So I don't know if this is something that I was going to spend a lot of thought on currently. Regardless of what the kit says, the way it works in game sometimes is very different anyways.
Right. Yeah, it's just it's
Because we're bug testers. We test all their bugs. My
the beta
goodness.
testers.
Yes, right.
But yeah, it's gonna be fun to see because I was kind of hoping Squirrel was just gonna be a hero brawler. So then to see this whole new Young Avengers tag, I was like, oh okay, so we're gonna do this, and then it's like, well, okay, so hero
Well,
brawlers, and then yeah,
because of the passive abilities on Squirrel Girls that's granted to Young Avengers,
yeah,
it's much stronger than if she just had a hero brawler tag, right?
right,
Because you're gonna want to use her in a team with as many Young Avengers as possible because it's a powerful passive, right? A
hmm
drain, and we don't know the percentages, but it looks like it's a very good passive, and you're gonna want to run her with as many Young Avengers as possible. And I don't see them stripping the hero brawler mechanics from Chavez
right,
and Ms. Marvel, because that's crazy talk. It's
yeah,
absolute crazy talk. But I also don't see it double dipping. So, and if it does, that's great. Then, then the characters that have both the hero brawler and the Young Avenger tags are going to double down on their buffs from the passive from Ms. Marvel and Chavez. Fine. But I just don't see that. And like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to, the way it works in game is probably going to be different the way the kit reads anyways. So
right.
I just assumed that it was an or situation and that you could continue using Ms. Marvel with Hero Brawlers if you wanted to, but the passive on Squirrel Girl is so amazing is that you're going to want to run we're going to have 4 Young Avengers and probably plug and play somebody else, maybe Captain Marvel in that 5th slot because she's a Hero Brawler and she's going to get the benefit from Chavez and Ms. Marvel anyways, and plus she's kind of a where do you put her in war anyways?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's another question is, so what do you expect of them? Are you expecting a defensive squad with these guys?
I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, if we're talking about war, I guarantee they're going to be a good blitz team. Let's just get that out of the question.
yeah.
It looks
They
like
scream good blitz.
yeah, and this kit, right, depending on the percentage of the drain on her passive, this
Yeah.
could be a very good raid team also. Very good raid
Ooh.
team. So, like if we take the 4 Young Avengers, which could be Miles, Chavez, and Ms. Marvel, then you take a character like Captain Marvel, which has a self-healing mechanic built into her, and you think, is that going to be a raid team? It doesn't look as strong as Spiderverse, or you're going to pair it up with Spiderverse because the problem with Spiderverse is heal block, but in raids they're just amazing until they get heal block, and then they're screwed, right? And so at the end of the day, this is what I know. The only thing I'm certain of, her middle ability right there,
Ultimate, the Squirrel Army.
Her special ability.
Eat
Scroll up a little bit because we can't read it. Scroll up a little. There we go. Eat nuts. Okay, eat nuts. Energy cost 3/3. Don't read anything but the middle part. Clear all, not some, not 2, not 4, all negative effects from all allies at only a 3/3 cooldown. We don't have a character really that strong right now that's usable. I mean, really right now, when we talk about cleanse mechanics in this game, it's restricted to the flip on Scientist Supreme, which is 4. And then you've got, I believe, on Invisible Woman, you've got 2 on her middle ability. There's other characters like Jessica
you've got
Jones,
Time
Groot,
Shift
Rocket.
with Thanos, which is like,
Well, Thanos
like
is on his own category. That's an empowered mode. We're talking about plug and play good cleansers. This is special. This is important. So never mind anything else in her kit. That middle ability, I promise you, is important. It's important that having to cleanse abilities right now, the entire game is pretty much focused on the games go in cycles where it's like, well, how many buffs can you get on your team, right? Well,
right.
Then it becomes this function of like, well, can I strip those buffs and flip them on the other side, right? Or then it becomes, well, how many negative effects can I put on the team? Then it becomes a function is, well, how can I cleanse negative effects from my own team? Like games kind of go in cycles like that. And we have a severe deficiency of characters, that do things like Ronan does and Jessica Jones and Groot and Invisible Woman and Scientist Supreme. So no matter what happens, this is an important ability and makes her important regardless.
I can guarantee that T4 is going to be clearing all negative effects.
Yeah,
I'm calling that now.
Her kit can do nothing but that, and it's important.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to stress how important that. Like, right when I saw this kit, I was like, and then when you start thinking about drain effects and things like that, and doing other things, and then Hero Brawlers mechanics with Young Avengers using Ms. Marvel, then you've got all kinds of weird combos, and clearly the Hero Brawlers is gonna come apart. It was already a catch-all kind of bottom tier team anyways, and so this is definitely going to restructure into something better. But this is the type of kit I really like. Like if we look at kits like Vision, where there's like it does give you a suggestion on where to go with Vision, but it's really kind of flexible, right? And Hero Brawlers is really generic, and Young Avengers, it just seems like we're going to have some options to build this team, and I have a feeling it's gonna have something to do with Spiderverse and or Captain Marvel and the other Young Avengers. I'm excited about this. I really am. I wasn't using Miles anywhere. Chavez and Captain Marvel, Chavez and Ms. Marvel were on their own team with the 3 leftover Hero Brawlers that I didn't know what to do with. Anyways, like I was even using Black Panther in there because I took apart my.
I know you like Black Panther with the Hero Brawlers.
Yeah, so it was like this weird catch-all team that was not that great, and now I think we're gonna get use out of like Ms. Marvel and Chavez, and Miles will be important with Squirrel Girl. I still don't understand Squirrel Girl though. I don't get that.
So then let's talk about Spider-Verse a little bit, because now we've got the 3 symbiotes, and I know people would pair up Spider-Man and Miles with symbiotes. You use Shuri and Drax. And like I was hearing from people in my alliance, they weren't happy with this change to Miles, because now now I have to split up my Spider-Verse squad. And it's like, well, what do you think? Are we probably gonna get another symbiote here soon? Hopefully, fingers crossed.
See, I wasn't using Miles or Spider-Man with the symbiotes. They don't really have that much synergy. Spider-Man is kind of in a weird place. I would expect he's gonna get reworked sometime, but I wasn't using him there. I mean, I was using Shuri and Drax with Spider-Verse. Go figure. And the only sometimes I would use Miles with Spider-Verse just for the disrupted. You know, if I had an annoying tank or some sort of weird mechanic that I needed to get around, maybe on a Asgardian team. But I wasn't using Miles or Spider-Man. Spider-Man, it does. I mean, objectively is way worse than symbiote Spider-Man. I mean, he does nothing that 100%. There's nothing better about Spider-Man compared. If you look at the kid of symbiote Spider-Man, they're not even close. It's not even close. And so Spider-Man is pretty much dead in the water anyways. And Spider-Man was going to go into like almost the unusable, unplayable character, kind of like Hawkeye. He looks fine, but where do you use Hawkeye? It's just like he's just not going to get used, and that's fine. So Miles was not really being used anywhere anyways. I wasn't using him. I just wasn't using him with that team. And I can't imagine that there's any team that used Miles that is not going to be drastically better in this Squirrel Girl, Ms. Marvel Chavez team. Like the usefulness of Miles is going to be double or triple the use that he was in some other team because of the passives on Chavez, the passives on Ms. Marvel, and the passive on Squirrel Girl is going to make Miles a million times better. Plus his basic is objectively better. Technically, he's the only one that got outright got a buff. If he's paired up with Squirrel Girl, he clears 3 positive effects on basic, which is very, before it only worked when they had defense down, which was situational basically.
Yeah, I mean, he was able to apply defense down on his passive, but changing this to being teamed up with Squirrel Girl, that's going to be a big deal in of itself. Like,
right, and I can see that you haven't even bothered to upgrade him. You're 6 months into the game. You've wailed hard. You've had some characters, but you very quickly realized that this was not a high priority character, and he will be now.
So my Hero Brawlers, like I've got the 3 central ones. I don't even have them leveled up because I just didn't really use them. I didn't have any place for them. But I rate
characters on usefulness rather than their objective, like good or bad stats, or like Miles is like, okay, so at a minimum, like a normal character is useful in Blitz and useful in War. Miles pre this upgrade was questionable in both of those stats. That's how unimportant Miles has been. I don't know if I'm going to use Miles in War. I don't know if I'm using Miles consistently on a Blitz team in 8.3. I don't know. Like he was definitely, some people could make him work, sure, but he wasn't a no-brainer like, you know, so that a scale of 0 to 6 where 2 was like the staple character. I don't even know if Miles was a 2. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
just like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna start. I'm gonna have to start working on these characters now, because
Oh, they're gonna be important.
Yeah.
Yeah, and power creep in this game is real. So, you know, rather than going back and working on an old meta team, this is going to be a new meta team, and
Yeah.
it's very likely that they're. Of course, I think they're going to be useful in war and blitz, and I think there may be even opportunity in raids. And it looks like Squirrel Girl is going to be a good standalone plug and play character, hopefully in Spiderverse.
Yeah. So I'm a little concerned for the future of Hero Brawlers, but at the same time, like Young Avengers, they look good. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do. But you know, fingers crossed they don't mess us up, and hopefully we get a 5th Young Avenger at some point, because we always get like these weird like 4-person teams, and now it's like, well, are we waiting on a legendary? Like, what are we doing here?
I actually watched that cartoon series. Like, I haven't watched that many Marvel cartoon series, but I actually remember that TV. Like, there was like a young Nova in there was an important character, and there was a bunch of characters in it that were like, yeah. I mean, I actually watched that. It's like I haven't watched much of the comic TV shows, but I actually saw that one. Believe it or not, it's kind of strange.
Well, yeah, that's another thing that was really weird was brought up. Like, of these 4 characters right now, the only one who's ever actually a Young Avenger was America Chavez. The other 3 were never Young Avengers. I had to Google this. I was
I remember watching Young Avengers briefly. I usually sleep like that. I put on stuff to go to sleep. And it was like one of those type of shows. I just put it on to go to sleep. It was obviously for kids, and I was just gonna just sleep through it.
Man, here I am doing like ASMR to go to sleep. You're over here watching cartoons.
I don't remember Squirrel Girl in that show at all.
Yeah.
I remember Chavez, but I don't remember any of these other characters in that show. I remember like Nova and Spider-Man in it, and that's about it. This is very blurry. This was several years ago, 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. They're definitely getting a little flexible with their roster and the lore here. So we'll see what they do with this. But yeah, I mean, let us know down below, what do you guys think about Squirrel Girl and the Young Avengers? Are you guys excited for these changes? What do you guys think about it? Let me know down below. Make sure to check out OhEmGee. We got a link to his channel down below as well. But as always, guys, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
Woof.